Thank you, thank you. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the first episode of Chat with the Champ, the late night talk show where we pick the brain of one of our top producers and see what it is that they do to consistently be at the top of their game. I am super excited to have this particular champ on our show today, and I can't wait to get started. But before we begin, how about a big welcome to our house band, Phil and the Norcomians. Phil, man, you guys sound amazing. You must have practiced a lot today.
Yes.
I can tell. I think we can all tell that you guys are sounding better and better every day. So tell me, how was your day? Did it go well?
Yes.
That's good. Yeah, my day, well, thanks for asking, but my day was not so good. I'm actually a little sad. I heard Captain Crunch died today. It was a serial killer. Anyway, we're so excited about our first Chat with a Champ show that we have decided to really blow up a prize for somebody, do something way over the top, something that's life-changing, and I'm excited to be able to introduce what that is to one lucky audience member. Phil, can you feel the anticipation of what's about to happen?
Yes.
James, why don't you tell us exactly what someone is going to win tonight?
Absolutely, Mark. We are giving away a Norcom mortgage valued at $715,000. Norcom, America's premier lender. We make homes happen.
That's fantastic. Nothing gives me goosebumps more than helping a family achieve homeownership. Don't you agree, Phil?
Yes.
So, here we go. This is super exciting. We're about to change someone's life here. So if you are in seat P19, over that way, congratulations, you have won a Norcom mortgage valued up to $715,000. That's fantastic. Phil, that went so well. I think we should do it again. Do you agree?
Yes.
So if you are sitting in A3, congratulations, you have won a Norcom mortgage valued up to $715,000. Fantastic, life-changing. And Phil, you know where I want to go next with this, right?
Yes.
Everyone in the audience gets a Norcom mortgage. You get 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 a Norcom mortgage. Fantastic. We will be right back. Welcome back, everyone, to Chat with the Champ. James, Phil, I'm not sure if you know this, but every Tuesday us talk show hosts get together for lunch. We do it earlier and earlier every week because of Letterman's naps. But both Jimmys are there, both Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, and Fallon's always bragging about the guests that he has on his show. He's got Beyonce coming up, De Niro, even Captain Scully. Kimmel tries to keep up. He's got the backup bassist for the 1977 POCO North American tour. I mean, clearly Fallon has the better draw. But however, I mentioned our guest. I mentioned who our champ is, and everyone agreed that we've got the best guest. And I think you'd agree as well, Phil, wouldn't you?
Yes.
The problem is Fallon gets pretty competitive. He wants to swap guests. That's what he came up with last Tuesday. He wants to offer Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga in exchange for an interview with our champ. I say no. No, Jimmy, no. He offers to have them sing that god-awful duet. To me, that's a double no. So in the end, we win. And here we are with the champ himself, Mr. Samson Doyle. Nice to meet you, Samson.
Nice to meet you, Mark.
Come on in. Well, I appreciate you coming in today. I'm real excited for our audience to have some great takeaways in terms of what you do to make your business so successful year in and year out. Last year in 2021, you were one of our top producers. I know you're on the same path for 2022. Congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Yeah. I think you had 136 units last year for about 35 million in production, and that's just fantastic. That's just a fantastic number. So congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
I know you just came up from Maryland, right?
Yes, we did.
Specifically for this.
Yep, just for this.
Great. So one question right off the bat. Lobster or crab?
100% crab.
100% crab.
100% crab.
Okay. Phil, you agree with that?
Yes.
So you and I had talked about the general theme of this Chat with a Champ, and again, it's to really pull some information out of you, things that are some good takeaways for some of the other loan officers that we have. And based on your production and the way you run your business, I think you've got some great items to share with us. So I've just got some questions here. Please feel free to, ad lib, ask questions, whatever you want to do.
Absolutely.
One of the first things I think we should probably talk about is, what sets you apart in your market?
Well, obviously having a name like Samson certainly helps out quite a bit. People remember you, but it also can hurt if you mess up, right? But I think communication is the biggest thing. You may feel like sometimes you over communicate, or even real estate agents, think you're over communicating, but that's the key to any deal getting closed, making sure it gets closed on time, and even having rewards after closing, and the listing agent and everyone involved in the process. They know how you communicate and how you are going to be upfront and get the deal done. And if you live by your word, it helps out quite a bit.
So communication is key, and you need to have a name like Samson.
It helps.
Okay, absolutely, great. So you've been in the business how long now?
12 years.
12 years, okay. You've had a lot of success in that 12-year period. Tell me what a typical day looks like for you.
Well, a typical day for me is a lot of chaos because I have 4 kids and being a loan officer. But a typical work day is always being on the phone, being there for your clients, communicating. A lot of work gets done at night in between certain meetings. Having a strong support staff like my assistant, my processors, underwriting, who have been there every step of the way during this process and journey, and don't get a lot of the accolades. They're a big part of the success too. So working as a team really helps out. But it's always about being on the phone, making sure you're getting things done right on time and not delaying. So it comes back with the communication thing, and always be on the phone and chatting with people.
Okay. Just a kind of a high-level question here. I'm always interested in how people answer this. And as a successful salesperson, what do you think differentiates successful salespeople from those that aren't as successful, or even those that fail?
Friendships. Creating friendships in the business is huge. When you work with people that you get along with and you want to share success with, and even go on vacations with, like realtors and business partners in that aspect, it kind of goes back to the team effort. You all want to do well, and you want to see your friends do well as well. So friendships, if you can make them, get with like-minded people, that's going to be a huge part of building your overall success.
That's a great answer. So thinking back on your working career here, prior to mortgages, what was your first job?
I was a paper boy when I was 8 years old.
Okay.
Yes.
So was there anything that you took away from that job that maybe helps you today?
Work ethic.
Work ethic.
If you can instill at a young age, working hard and getting that motivation to earn money, and being able to, at that age, I think I bought a basketball hoop when I was younger. Although I was working with my mom, making money, being able to just pretty much buy whatever I want, Pokemon cards, whatever it was back in the day. That's a huge success. So I do credit a lot with my mom and making sure I had that work ethic. Some was forced so I can help her out and make her life easier, but it ripple effect. High school, just always had a job. College, always had a job. And it certainly helps to get in the real world in a sales career of always, what do I need to do next? How do I work hard? How do I get better at it?
So do you still ride your bike to work like you did when you were an 8-year-old paperboy? Or?
No, I wish I did.
You mentioned 4 kids. That's a lot of children. That's fantastic. Congratulations on that. How do you manage a good work-life balance with that part of the balance being so important?
Sure, that's pretty tough. You got to take time to yourself, especially spend time with your kids. If I'm away from work for 2 days straight because we're just grinding down in the office, although I want to be at the office, I do want to be back with my family and kids. Right. I want to help out my wife with things, cook with them, play sports. So, find that work-life balance is hard for a lot of people. But again, having the back-end support with people I know that will help me do my job gets it to the point where I have more freedom in my career and my life.
That's fantastic. Okay. So how has the Norcom brand helped the Samson Doyle brand?
Absolutely. So it's been there. I think we've been at Norcom about 8 years. Okay. So it's helped me in every step of the way in that brand recognition. Norcom as a whole, from marketing to always having the most up-to-date guidelines and the ability, if we think we want to go with a loan product that's out there that we don't have, they're going to jump on it right away to get it. So in our marketplace, we don't have the biggest brand recognition, but it definitely carries a lot of weight with the seasoned real estate agents who've been through the process. And when it's a listing agent that I've worked with in the past and I write that pre-qual letter and they give me a call, it's just like pretty much cake from there.
Yeah, and I think that's an important thing there is that there's a lot of real estate agents out there, a lot of realtors out there, there's a lot of loan officers out there, but those that really are seasoned and do this with a full-time focus, that's a much smaller bucket of people. Absolutely. And I know that's the people that you work with primarily. So the rest of it, it's great to have as an acquaintance, as a potential referral source, but if you're really going to commit to building relationships with those that are going to help you build your business, as you've done, it's full-time experienced realtors.
Absolutely.
Yep. So, question from left field. Share a specific talent that you have that no one knows about.
So I would say either my ability to cook.
Okay.
I don't look it, but I'm pretty athletic. I'm always the guy that there's just that big guy in sports, and I usually surprise a bunch of people. Not as much with me getting a little bit older and my younger friends and family playing. But other than that, I don't have any surprises. I think I'm pretty cut and dry. Maybe multitasking is a good one, being a loan officer and having kids and dealing with family and sports and everything that comes with it. Okay. So I guess multitasking with that.
So no juggling, no opera singing, but cooking, that's interesting. That's kind of a thing that I have too. It's the way I relax.
Yeah.
So Norcom Cooks is coming up. Going to give that a plug. I hope we get a lot of participation coming up shortly in this. But if you were to do Norcom Cooks, what would you make?
I would cook a paella.
A paella.
Yes.
Okay.
At least help cook a paella with the pros. I'm not as versed with the paella, but I have something else that I discovered just trying to eat a little bit better. That's a zucchini ravioli.
Okay.
I actually shared it with Phil, and he loved it. So I think it's a good one, and it's pretty easy, and it's a pretty good hit with the kids too. So I think that's a good one if I were to do another Norcom cook.
So Phil, you're going to make zucchini ravioli for all of us, right?
Yes.
So what do you do to stay on top of your business, your volume, all the different things that pull at you daily? I know you've got an assistant, Matt, who I'm sure is a big help, but what specifically do you do on a daily basis to keep on top of everything?
I'm huge at making notes at the end of the day, so I have a to-do list in the morning. I've always just adopted that as a task that really helps me to stay focused in the morning. Following Encompass to a T and always being on top of reviewing Encompass has always been huge for me. But also getting into more knowledge of what's going on in the marketplace, whether it's following other loan officers that are out there doing things, real estate agents. Yeah. Social media has been a pretty good way for me to outlet and get education, because I will admit I'm not a big reader. I never have been. I'm always just out there doing things. So social media coming along has really helped me to see more products, what's out there, and learn more that I don't think you would find just reading guidelines, so to speak. So occurrences of people saving loans, or there's a really good mortgage. It's called the Mortgage Pub on Facebook. The amount of questions that come in there from loan officers with different scenarios, some pretty basic, some pretty eccentric. It's a really good spot to just get education on different deals that are going on.
It's called Mortgage Pub?
The Mortgage Pub, yeah.
The Mortgage Pub.
Yep. If anyone wants to reach out to me, I'll get you the in on it. It's quite funny sometimes, but also very good information on there.
Fantastic. So what advice would you give a new loan officer coming to Norcom? Not necessarily a new loan officer coming to Norcom, but a loan officer that's making the jump from somewhere else over to Norcom. What would be the biggest advice you could give them?
Biggest advice is just explore and get relationships with underwriting, processing, really know who you're going to work with and their tendencies and how they like to see things packaged, whether it's, you're going to be assigned to a loan processor, maybe you need to write a letter to them on each file and how it's packaged. There's certain things you could do to make your life easier. And if you be very upfront and just open with people, I think that's going to help out quite a bit. But also, I don't think Norcom has such a wide range of products. Looking at every single thing you can find on the fresh desk and really like exploring those as guidelines rather than looking at the actual guidelines for HUD or VA or anything like that is going to open up some doors to think about some things. Or even get in with a group of loan officers that are established here and have like a round table or coffee or happy hour and kind of do what we're doing with success stories or failures that may have happened and get the ins and outs of really what goes down.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned this earlier about the importance of friendship, right? In terms of building your network, and that goes equally as far with coworkers and people you work with. That we've all got a common goal, right? Let's work together. There's no reason why we can't work together in a friendly manner. Let's make our jobs easier for each other. Absolutely. And the underlying fundamental there is respect, and I see a lot of that here. So I think it's been a nice transition for me on that side. What are the 3 things you do every day that make a difference in your production? So the 3 things.
Number 1, that to-do list. That's huge. I say that's number 1. Although I don't do it all the time, honestly, just from a personal standpoint, making sure I exercise really clears my head, especially when I'm getting frustrated or things aren't going right. That stress reliever or finding what relieves your stress is going to be huge. You really got to do that and take care of your body and mind to really focus on in sales. Because if you don't interject, the sales atmosphere, I guess you can call it hoorah to your clients or your real estate agents, they're really going to know like, well, I'm not too confident in this person. So really getting your mind right is huge. And that goes with any job that you're doing or hopefully a job that you love. You really got to make sure you're in the right headspace. Okay. The third one is, I would say, although it seems pretty basic, pipeline review with your support staff, whether it's making a plan every Monday or Friday, although it may not go every single week, staying on top of that pipeline and not communicating is going to be very detrimental to business. So as long as everyone is communicating with the pipeline, you all have a good strategy of what you're going to do on each loan, and address that in the beginning or end of the week. I think that's huge for me.
Yeah, I mean, so you basically, your 3 are, take care of yourself, right? Yep. So you take care of yourself, you're in a better position to take care of others. Sure. Take care of your schedule and your productivity by having a to-do list, yep. Right? And the third thing is really taking care of your customers by having pipeline reviews and making sure that things are moving along based on the expectations that your customers have. So I think that's fantastic. As a loan officer, and again, this gets back to the market this year, what do you personally see as the biggest opportunity for Samson Doyle and his team in 2022, even though it's only got a few months left?
Biggest opportunity, I'm hitting the streets hard on the USDA 0% down renovation loan. It's always been a loan that we've done. We usually have a lot of them, not as much as your FHA and conventionals, but for the ability, especially right now with cost up and goods up, first-time home buyers being able to put 0% down and make a house their own. I mean, I think that's the most valuable product we can have, and it's going to be first-time home buyers who probably haven't even saved up that much money. And I feel there's a lot of, at least in Maryland, there's a lot of inventory of people who are sitting on houses. They've lived there for 20 to 30 years. Yep. They've updated a couple things, but it's not up to date to what we're seeing. They're eventually going to move out. And I think that's just going to be a huge product. Okay. There's going to be a lot of opportunity there for that.
How is that being received right now by your COIs?
I mean, everyone loves it, just no inventory right now. Yeah.
Exactly right. Right. Okay. So let's talk about kind of where you've come from to where you are here. What are some of the biggest obstacles you've had to overcome to become successful?
I think the biggest thing that I had issues with was, and it kind of is interesting to say is communicating over the phone or relaying a message, and that might be why communication is so good for me. I first got in business in 2010. They put me in an office selling FHA streamlined refinances, and I sounded like an actual non-salesperson. Just didn't know what I was talking about. 6 months, I'm like, why am I doing this? So I think getting out there, getting your fears, talking to people, which is going to be hard for a lot of people who've been stuck behind their computers at home with COVID. Yep. But getting out there, the relationships, friendships, those are some of the biggest obstacles I ever overcame, and it helped out quite a bit.
Fantastic. Okay. All right. And last question. Again, I really appreciate you coming out. I personally picked up a lot of great tidbits here, and I'm sure our audience has as well. So for me, time well spent. I hope the same for you. But last question. If we sat down again in 12 months, what would you say was your biggest professional success during that 12-month period?
I'd say it's increasing production if the market should merit it. Getting back to the kind of roots that we've talked about of getting out there, talking to some of the old referral partners I have. I think that will certainly pay off, and I don't see myself stopping any of that, even if there's still market turn down or lower inventory. So I think looking back, I'll have a more productive year next year than this year, and hopefully it merits that.
Knock wood, right? Knock wood. Well, Samson, thank you so much. We really appreciate you coming in. It's been a fantastic show, and I'm really excited to do this again with our next champ. Next time we have our second episode of Chat with a Champ. Good night.
Yes.